the gas-lit streets of 1809 Edinburgh, a slight figure hurried through the morning mist, medical techs clutched tightly to chest. Young James Barrie, barely 20 years old, navigated the cobblestone paths with determined steps toward the university's imposing gates. Each click of boots against stone marked another moment in an extraordinary deception that would span decades and continents, reshaping both medical history and our understanding of gender in the Victorian era. Born Margaret Ann Bulkley in Cork, Ireland, the person who would become James Barrie had made an audacious choice: to shed one identity and forge another in pursuit of a forbidden dream. In an age when women were barred from universities and the medical profession, Margaret transformed herself into James Barrie, embarking on a journey that would challenge the rigid constraints of Georgian and Victorian society. The transformation was meticulously planned with the help of influential supporters, including General Francisco Miranda, a Venezuelan revolutionary who recognized Margaret's brilliant mind and burning ambition. The young Barrie cultivated a distinctive personality: quick-witted, sharp-tongued, and fiercely intelligent. Standing barely 5 feet tall, Barrie compensated for his slight stature with an outsized personality and razor-sharp intellect that commanded respect in any room. At Edinburgh Medical School, Barrie's brilliant mind quickly became apparent. He possessed an almost uncanny ability to diagnose ailments that baffled his peers, combining keen observation with an innovative approach to treatment that was decades ahead of its time. His doctoral thesis on femoral hernia drew praise for its insight and precision, though few could have guessed the personal understanding that informed his comprehensive knowledge of anatomy and the human condition. Upon graduating with distinction in 1812, Barrie joined the British Army as a military surgeon, beginning a career that would span the British Empire. His first posting to Cape Town, South Africa, proved transformative. In this colonial outpost, Barrie encountered appalling medical conditions that sparked a lifelong crusade for reform. He fought tirelessly to improve sanitation, nutrition, and medical care for soldiers, civilians, and prisoners alike. Radical notions in an age when such considerations were often dismissed. It was in Cape Town that Barrie performed his most celebrated achievement: the first successful cesarean section in Africa, where both mother and child survived. The procedure, conducted by candlelight in 1826, saved the life of both Thomas Munnick's wife and their child. Barrie's careful attention to cleanliness and surgical technique, revolutionary for its time, ensured success where death had been the expected outcome. The incident cemented his reputation as a surgical pioneer, though it must have carried deeper personal significance for the woman operating under a male identity. Barrie's reformist zeal often manifested in confrontational ways. He publicly berated officials over hospital conditions, challenged military hierarchy, and even engaged in a duel with a fellow officer who dared question his medical judgment. These actions, combined with his high-pitched voice and beardless face, made him a subject of gossip and speculation. Yet his undeniable surgical skill and dedication to patient care earned him steady promotions and postings across the empire, from Jamaica to Malta, Corfu to Canada. Throughout his career, Barrie maintained an obsessive attention to personal privacy. He slept alone, dressed alone, and kept all at a careful distance. Even in the sweltering heat of the Caribbean or the humid winds of the Cape, he never removed his coat in public. This necessary isolation exacted a heavy emotional toll, revealed in private letters that spoke of profound loneliness and the burden of perpetual vigilance. Despite these personal challenges, Barrie's impact on military medicine was revolutionary. He introduced hygiene protocols that dramatically reduced infection rates, advocated for better nutrition as preventive medicine, and insisted on equal medical treatment for all, regardless of race, class, or social status. In an era of rigid social hierarchies, such egalitarian principles were radical, yet Barrie's results spoke for themselves. Wherever he served, mortality rates dropped significantly. Barrie's final years were spent in Montreal, where advancing age and illness began to take their toll. When he died in London in 1865, The charwoman preparing his body for burial discovered his biological sex. The revelation sent shockwaves through Victorian society, though the army moved quickly to seal Barry's records for 100 years, perhaps protecting both his privacy and their own reputation. The secret that James Barry had guarded so carefully in life became public in death, forcing Victorian society to confront uncomfortable questions about gender, capability, and the artificial barriers it imposed. Some attempted to dismiss Barry's achievements upon learning of his biological sex, but the evidence of his contributions was too substantial to deny. Here was proof that a woman could not only equal but exceed her male peers in a profession they had claimed as exclusively their own. James Barry's legacy endures not only in the annals of medical history, but as a testament to the lengths one person would go to pursue their calling. His story challenges us to consider how many other brilliant minds were lost to history because society denied them opportunities based on gender. Barry's life stands as both inspiration and indictment, a reminder that greatness knows no gender, and that the artificial constraints we place on human potential diminish us all. Today, medical students still learn of Barry's surgical innovations, while historians and gender scholars debate the complexities of his identity. Was James Barry transgender, or simply a woman using male disguise as a means to an end? The answer perhaps matters less than the larger truth his life revealed: that the capacity for brilliant medical innovation, for saving lives and advancing science, has never been the exclusive province of any gender.
Bring it down,